Our next recipient led the education of tens of thousands of Grand Forks children as the superintendent of the local school district for nearly 3 decades. Following that distinguished career, Mark Sanford didn't slip into a long retirement. Instead, he ran for office and has served as a member of the North Dakota House of Representatives since 2011.
Mark Sanford devoted his career to education, first in the classroom and then as an administrator. He spent 26 years as superintendent of the Grand Forks Public School District before retiring in 2007.
He is the person, the type of individual that I would hope that teachers, principals, superintendents aspire to be and turn out like. And certainly that is true for somebody who is an advocate for higher education.
Well, rather than relax in his retirement years, Mark decided to run for office. In 2011, he was elected to the State House of Representatives, where he serves as the chair of the Higher Education Committee. He is an advocate for K-12 and higher education, steering his colleagues to re-examine the way they fund both. He has also been instrumental in advancing cost-sharing programs like the North Dakota Higher Education Challenge Grant Fund and private-public partnerships like the one used to fund the Nistler College of Business and Public Administration building.
Mark not only serves as a legislator out of Grand Forks, and so Grand Forks definitely benefits from that, but he's statesman-like minded. So he thinks about the entire state. What's in the best interest of North Dakota? That's what drives his actions, that's what drives his thinking. But he really is an E.F. Hutton. Those of us in the audience, most of us will understand that reference. When he speaks, people stop and they listen. And they know that they're going to come away with something worthwhile having listened to. To watch that over and over again in committees, in small group conversations, when he's talking to the entire floor of the House, and to watch folks pay attention, listen intently every time, you know that that's an extraordinary legislator who's done a lot of things to benefit the state of North Dakota, and fortunately for us here, the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
Mark Sanford, for leading the Grand Forks School District through the aftermath of the flood of '97, for advocating for the education of our youth throughout your career, and for championing causes important to UND and the legislature, please come forward to accept your award.
That picture where I was reading to kindergartners was prefaced by the teacher telling me, don't ask them any questions because you lose control right away. My association with UND began at the graduate school level. 5 summers and a year of residency led to 2 degrees and a host of great educators and researchers led by my chair, Dr. Don Piper. An experience during my initial summer cemented my commitment to the University of North Dakota. We were losing my mother to cancer. I needed to go back to Watford City to be with her. And it was the early part of week 7. I went to Dr. Kent Ulm, explained my circumstance, and asked for an extension of time to be able to finish the coursework and take the final exams. Dr. Holmes said, "You got an A. You earned it. You go and tell those other professors that you're going to go home just like I told you." So I was able to go home and be with my mom in the last days. That compassionate behavior demonstrated a caring for students that I will never forget. And I tried very hard to use that type of an attitude myself in my profession. UND also gave me the opportunity to be a graduate research assistant during my year of residency. My 2 assignments were challenging. The first was coordinating the efforts of 6 small Minnesota school districts to cooperate on curriculum offerings, thus being able to expand their curriculum in a most cost-effective way. The second assignment I had was to travel the state and interview employers asking about what would be needed if we were to start a vocational education, now known as career and technical education, programs in the state. In retrospect, these 2 opportunities really gave me a chance to see what was coming in terms of both the career education and the reorganization of smaller districts around our state. For me, it also provided insight into the need to consistently look for better ways to provide high-quality programs. In the spring of the year of my residency, I was offered a job in Grand Forks. Over the years, the district and I have benefited from a long-term working relationship with the College of Education here at UND. I want to stress the fact that the College of Education has also been very effective at working with school districts all across the state and here in the upper Midwest. A special example for me characterizes the College of Education's connection to our schools. Our district became interested in transitioning from junior highs to middle schools because the research said this was the most effective model for children at that age of development. So we spent a year, and we had school board members studying, we had teachers studying to see if we wanted to make this decision. We were just getting to the point where we were going to decide when the 1997 flood hit. So that was put on the table for a while, but fortunately we had good insurance, we had a good rapport with FEMA, we received cash that we could use to replace 5 buildings that we lost and remodel the other 17. And so, in the middle of all this, the school board was able to make the decision, let's go to the middle school, and let's use this money to construct those buildings in the proper way so that the facility really works for this model. And it's extremely different than the model that would, and the kind of type of facility that you would use for junior highs. So the topping here on this was that, okay, you've got facilities. Now, what about teachers who have never taught? There's not a middle school in North Dakota. There's not very many in the country. How are you going to prepare the teachers to handle this new model? UND College of Education came forward and said, we will develop a minor in this field. And so they created an entire minor of study for our teachers, and 125 teachers went through that training. And I would say that is the big reason why it was an extremely successful transition and why that model remains now, today, in effect as the dominant model in the state. And UND has trained almost all of those teachers working in the middle schools. In my legislative work, I represent the state on the Western Interstate Compact of Higher Education. Our meetings offer frequent reviews of best practices in these 19 states and around the nation. These reviews are of great value to me, and they certainly reassure me that our higher education system in North Dakota is performing at a pretty fine level, and that UND is without doubt recognized and admired far beyond our Midwest location. UND means a lot to me, continues to serve as a model of excellence, and provides great value to our state. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work with UND, and I'm equally grateful for this wonderful honor. Thank you very much.